Welcome back. You're watching the Property Guide in ET Now. This is our special edition on NRI investments in the Indian real estate sector. This is a really important part of making an investment in real estate, and it's tax. To help us understand all of the possible tax liabilities for NRIs buying and selling property in India, we're now joined by our tax expert, Suresh Surana, as our expert on our panel. Suresh, thank you so much for joining us. Tell us first of all, if an NRI is buying property in India or selling property, what sort of tax payments should they keep in mind at that time?
Yeah, fair. So first of all, when you are buying the property, as such, there is no tax implication, except that in case the property is purchased at a value which is less than the stamp duty valuation, then the difference between the stamp duty valuation and the agreement value is deemed to be income in the hands of the buyer. That is under section 56 of the Income Tax Act now. The second thing is that when you are purchasing the property, even a non-resident, while making payment for the purchase consideration, has to withhold tax at the rate of 1% under section 194 IA of the Income Tax Act, which has been made operative from 1st June 2013. So this is a new provision. When you are buying the property, you need to deduct tax at the rate of 1% and you need to make payment to the government. As far as the selling the property is concerned, when you sell the property, if you have been holding the property for more than 3 years, then it becomes a long-term capital gain. And whatever capital gain you are having, you have to pay tax at the rate of 20% on that. If you reinvest the sale proceeds, then whatever capital gains you are making, if it is reinvested in purchase of another residential property, under section 54, you can claim exemption of the entire amount. It has to be invested within the specified time, which is 2 years in case you are purchasing the property and 3 years if you are constructing the new property. You can also, when you are calculating the capital gains, you can compute the cost in the relevant foreign currency in which you made the investment.
And Suresh, when they do sell property, are there any limits on the amount of money that can be repatriated back to whichever country they are living in?
Well, under the Foreign Exchange Management Act, in case a non-resident Indian has purchased the property out of convertible foreign exchange, that means he remitted the money from outside India, or he had the money in NRE or FCNR account out of which he purchased the property, and if he holds the property for more than 3 years, then whatever amount he invested originally in the foreign currency amount, that much amount he can repatriate outside India. Now this is limited to 2 residential properties. If he is owning more than 2 residential properties, then on the remaining properties on sale he cannot remit the money.
But the difference really comes in then when the property has been leased out or rented out. There's income that's coming in that they're earning in India while they're living overseas, especially for those who live in the US. What sort of taxation should they keep in mind if they're renting out property?
Well, as far as the rental income is concerned, it is taxed like regular income. So depending on whatever slab one is in, it would be the highest rate is 30% plus surcharge and cess. You get a deduction of 30% in respect of the, it is called a standard deduction. And you are also allowed to claim the property taxes what you are paying as a deduction, and whatever tax you pay in your home country, depending on your residential status, you might have to offer this income for taxation in your home country because of your worldwide taxation, and you may be able to claim credit of the Indian taxes paid under the relevant double taxation avoidance agreement. So that you need to check in your respective home country in terms of tax incidence and in terms of the double tax avoidance agreement.
Is there a difference in the tax treatment for those who live overseas in the US, whether they're green card holders of Indian origin? Is there something there that they should keep in mind?
In the case of those non-resident Indians who are either US green card holder or US citizens, whatever rental income they receive, there is a withholding tax under section 195 which is deducted at source when they are receiving the rental payment. But that does not avoid their responsibility to file the tax return. So in case the rental income exceeds the basic exemption limit, which is rupees 2 lakhs, they need to file the tax return in India and they need to claim the credit for the tax which has been withheld. So that is one area where sometimes people miss out. There are some other types of income, like for example interest income and other income, which under chapter 12A, if the tax is withheld, then there is no need to file the tax return. But that is not the case in case of rental income. The second thing is that whatever the income which is liable to tax in India, because they are US green card holder and US citizens and liable to worldwide tax in US, they also need to disclose that income in the US, and against the US taxes on that income, they can claim credit for Indian taxes. That is under the double taxation avoidance agreement between India and USA. The third thing which the people should be aware is that if they own more than one residential house in India, then there is a wealth tax applicable at the rate of 1%, which needs to be paid every year. So these are the 2 or 3 areas where sometimes people miss out on.
All right, Suresh, many thanks for answering our questions on the property guide this week.
Thank you.
If you have any questions about buying property, whether it's about tax, whether it's about the legal aspect, or it's about narrowing in on the right home, write to us. Our email ID is on your screen. A copy of this show will be available on our Facebook page, which means you can share it with friends and family that lives overseas, and you can reach me personally on Twitter. Thanks for watching.